Arcanum 18, Illusion. Arcanum 18 pictures two pyramids, one white, one black. An entrance door appears in the white pyramid. Clouds obscure the moon, and a fog casts a haze over the scene. A white dog howls at the moon, a black one listens. A scorpion crawls in a circle of light. Below the black bar, a small boat sails on a stormy sea. Symbolism and philosophy. The symbols in Arcanum 18 have a dual meaning. They represent the disembodied spirits beyond the veil, and man's personal moods and feelings. The white dog typifies his domesticated animal urges, the black dog his brutish instincts, and the scorpion the sting of spiritual death lurking in his untamed animal soul. The black and white pyramids, as in Arcanum 17, symbolize his animal and spiritual natures. The door in the white pyramid typifies the exit from self-will made possible by his re-entrance into the spiritual life, here and now, as well as hereafter. The white and black pyramids also symbolize white and black magic. Arcanum 18 warns of the dangers facing man from the denizens of the world beyond. Traditionally, the white dog symbolizes friendly but servile spirits, the black dog, lion spirits, and the scorpion, treacherous and dominating spirits who have intelligence but who use it to deceive and thus attain their own selfish ends. The dim, foggy moonlight scene represents the shadow realm, such as contacted in the seance room, whose hidden pearls are more serious than those whose we ordinarily see with the naked eye. The white dog howling at the moon warns of psychic dangers, as the black dog apparently listens. While Arcanum 18 warns against playing with psychic phenomena and other world visitors, its most important message concerns the pearls from denizens lurking in the marine depths of our own animal soul. These are the creatures that really upset the bark of our life as it sails over the emotional sea. For the seducing spirits, the evil spirits, and the demons of our psychic world have power over us only because they play upon similar qualities lying deep inside of us. Our own personal evil spirits and demons, our own selfish desires, create the fog, the illusion, and the self-deception pictured by Arcanum 18. How often we get stung by our own foolishness. The authorities we have consulted can give no adequate answer as to why dogs bark at the moon. Arcanum 18, however, gives a clue as to why the symbolism has been used in this card. The moon is a symbol of desire. When untamed, self-centered desire rules our life. It makes us, so to speak, bark up the wrong tree. Undisciplined desire turns man's life into veritable howling wilderness. Like a child crying for the moon, how often in our spiritual immaturity do we reach for unreachable and undesirable goals? Until we are born of God, the mighty stream of desire rushes us headlong from one frustration to another. How sweet the anticipation, how bitter the realization. Self-centered desire dams up the waters of our emotional life and makes them sterile. It leads us to seek comfort, pleasure, love, power, influence for self, regardless of its effects on others. It overstimulates the sensuous nature and drowns the soul in a whirlpool of dissatisfaction. The scorpion in this card has significant meaning. It is said that all species of scorpions lead strictly individual lives and avoid each other or else fight to death, the victor usually devouring the victim. How typical of unregenerated man's aggressive, self-centered desire nature, which seeks its own individual advantage and ends by devouring its victim, himself. The habitat of scorpions is also significant. Under stones and bark, under dead leaves and rubbish, in deserted buildings, thatched roofs, dark basements. Wrong desires, such as lusting after another man's wife, coveting another's position, craving undue power and influence for selfish advantage. These, like scorpions, hide in the dank recesses of our souls. We carefully screen them from public view, but they create a mental fog in our lives and cause us to stumble into the pit of self-destruction. We often sting ourselves to death by our false desires. Deception is the chief keyword of Arcanum 18. This does not refer so much to the deception others practice on us as to our own instinctive habit of deceiving ourselves and others. How often we rationalize our desires, knowing them to be wrong and undesirable. Yet we persistently and stubbornly drive ahead to gain our goal, and when we reach it, we find it turns to dust and ashes in our mouth. We foolishly deceive ourselves into believing what we know inwardly is not so and cannot be, or should not be, if realized. Demosthenes, a very wise man, once said, "The easiest thing of all is to deceive oneself, for what a man wishes he generally believes to be true." But in the fog of self-induced false beliefs, illusions, delusions, and deceptions that befog our vision, Arcanum 18 shows the way out, the door through the white pyramid. When we permit our desire nature to be spiritualized, that is, repolarized to God and directed by Him, its mighty power assumes a new direction. When we voluntarily subject it to the light of God, He then channels it into constructive uses. Our newborn love for Him substitutes love for lust, brotherliness for selfishness, self-sacrifice for self-aggrandizement, His will and purpose for ours. We possess the same drives as before, but they have now become tamed and domesticated, no longer wild and ferocious. We learn that we best serve our own interests when we first serve God and man. We realize that we need not covet what belongs to another, for that which is truly our own comes to us in God's own good time and way. Astrology. Arcanum 18 corresponds to the sign Cancer, ruled by the moon. It signifies the emotions and feelings causing conditions whereby one is powerful, affected by associations and environments. Cancer is mediumistic, domestic, food conscious. It signifies mines, oil wells, real estate, houses, the grave, and end of life. Human anatomy. Arcanum 18 indicates the stomach, the process of digestion, the epigastric plexus, the spleen and stomach muscle, the mammary secretions, and to a lesser degree the liver and pancreas, with their associated products and hormones. Masonic ritual. Arcanum 18 corresponds to the intimate secretary degree. A black veil spangled with white tears hangs in the lodge. This degree pictures a spy listening at the veil, where the guards capture him and bring him before Hiram, king of Tyre, representing Satan or Saturn. Hiram then condemns the eavesdropper to death, but King Solomon later intercedes and frees him. The usual explanation of this ritual is that it typifies the realm of purification after death, but we feel this misses the mark by a wide margin. It may indeed have such a meaning, but in the light of tarot symbols, it would carry more significance to say that it portrays the remorse the candidate feels after he glimpses the naked truth, which makes him realize the blind folly of a life separated from God, resulting from the compact of spiritual death he made with the Lord of Earth, Hiram, king of Tyre. From this folly, only King Solomon, the Son, or power of God, can save him. The Bible. The thread of communication between this world and the next strings the Bible together from beginning to end. All the world's sacred literature attests to the existence of life beyond the grave, and also the fact that the so-called dead influence the living. The mountain of evidence adduced by modern investigators of psychic phenomena proves this beyond doubt to any open-minded man. The question is not whether such phenomena are true, but only what value do they have, good or bad. The Bible says they have both. Wherever we find mention of such phenomena, they refer to the symbolism of Arcanum 18. We see an outstanding example in the 28th chapter of 1 Samuel, the story of Saul's consultation with the witch of Endor. The word witch, however, does not appear in the text, but only as part of a chapter heading inserting by the translators. These headings, of course, form no part of the received text, but are quite often taken for gospel truth, no matter how inaccurate and deceiving they may be. The story says that Saul sought out a woman with a familiar spirit. The phrase familiar spirit means in Hebrew a mumble, that is, a water skin from its hollow sound, hence a necromancer or ventriloquist. In our day, we would say the woman was a medium. Saul asked her to bring up the ghost of Samuel so he could ask him how his battle with the Philistines would go. And Samuel said to Saul, "Why hast thou disquieted me, to bring me up?" And Saul answered, "I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God is departed from me, and answereth me no more, neither by prophets, nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what I shall do." Then said Samuel, "Wherefore then doest thou ask of me, seeing the Lord is departed from thee, and is become thine enemy? For the Lord hath rent the kingdom out of thine hand, and given it to thy neighbor, even to David, because thou obeyedest not the voice of the Lord." 1 Samuel chapter 28, verses 15 through 18. And then, to show the futility of such procedure as Saul was resorting to, Samuel told him that the Lord would deliver him and the Israelites into the hand of the Philistines. "And tomorrow shalt thou and thy sons be with me." Verse 19. Apparently, so far as we can judge from the story, this news did not make Saul's death more bearable, nor prepare him spiritually to meet the Lord. The significant thing is that Samuel, a prophet of the Lord, resented Saul's bringing him back to earth. Evidently, when the flesh is laid aside, the God-seeking spirit is not destined to have any further contact with the earth. This would also seem to be indicated in the story of Lazarus and the rich man, recounted in Luke chapter 16, verses 19 through 31. Lazarus, the beggar, when he died, went to Abraham's bosom, while the rich man went to hell. The rich man, in torment, cried to Abraham to send Lazarus to dip his finger in water and cool his parched tongue. When Abraham explained that there was a great gulf fixed between him and Lazarus, and that neither could visit the other, the rich man asked Abraham to send Lazarus to his father's house so he could testify to his 5 brothers, lest they also come into this place of torment. And Abraham said to him, "They have Moses and the prophets. Let them hear them." And the rich man protested, "Nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent." And Abraham replied, "If they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead." Arcanum 18 and its biblical references warn of the dangers attending certain types of psychic manifestations, very real and serious dangers, as only those who have had such sad experiences know. Even medical science, which in the past has scoffed at such things, is now beginning to recognize the reality of demon possession. The word demon originally meant the spirit of a dead person, neither bad nor good, but usage has cast it into an evil mold. Matthew chapter 10 verses 1 and 8 tells us that Jesus gave his disciples power against unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, and to cast out devils. The 5th chapter of Mark recounts the story of the demon, or devil, possessed man whom Jesus healed. The agonizing violence here mentioned is not at all unusual, as physicians who have had to deal with similar cases can testify. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verses 1 through 3 warns of giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, forbidden to marry, and commanding to abstain from meats. 1 John chapter 4, verses 1 through 3 warns us to believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. The apostle then gives a formula which he says will prove the Spirit's origin. Hereby know ye the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesseth that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is of God, and every spirit that confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God. And this is that spirit of Antichrist that should come, and even now already is it in the world. Acts chapter 10, verses 9 through 33 refers to Arcanum 18 in Peter's vision of the great sheet knit at the 4 corners coming down from heaven to earth. In it he saw all manner of 4-footed beasts of the earth, wild beasts, creeping things, and fowls of the air. Then verse 13 gives the mystic code, "Rise, Peter, kill and eat." Peter, interpreting this command literally, protested that he had never eaten anything common or unclean. But the voice of God spoke to him 3 times and told him that what he had made clean, Peter, should not call common or unclean. The brute feelings and thoughts of our animal nature are not in themselves wrong or evil or unclean. For when God, not man, directs their energies, they become useful servants to fulfill his will and purpose in our lives. When we turn to him, we mystically kill or transform them into divine powers, and we can then eat or assimilate them into our spiritual life. The 13th chapter of Revelation gives a remarkable description of the beast shown in composite form by the 2 dogs and the scorpion in Arcanum 18. This is the beast inside of every man, not a chimera or one man in Rome, Berlin, Moscow, Tokyo, or any other city in the world. This is the real mystery of iniquity. It is the beast that rises up out of the sea of man's self-centered emotions. That beast has 7 heads, man's 7-fold nature, and 10 horns, 10 basic psychologic drives, and upon those horns 10 crowns, emblems of rulership. This is the first beast. Then, Revelation chapter 13, verse 11 tells us of another beast coming up out of the earth, with 2 horns like a lamb, speaking as a dragon. This is the power represented by the combination of church and state that gives life to or activates the first beast. It causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And no man could buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Can it be a coincidence that verse 18 gives the key to understanding the mystery of the beast? For it inserts the cryptic code found so often in the Bible. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. The Greek says the number of mankind, not a man, and applying the tarot rule of adding the number crosswise proves it. 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18, the beast, or animal nature, of all men everywhere, in every age. Were it not for this interior beast, the exterior beast, as represented either in this world or the world beyond, would have no power whatever. The beast of prophecy we will find in the looking glass. He is the one we have to slay and eat by calling on the power of the Spirit of God to help us in this perpetual battle. The more we let the Spirit tame that beast, the less fighting we have to endure and the more peace we enjoy within our own souls. When the process of transformation and assimilation has gone far enough, we can then enjoy the consciousness signified by the term Kingdom of Heaven, symbolized in the tarot by Arcanum 19, 20, and 21. The overall picture of Arcanum 18 is negative. Its name, illusion, and its keywords deception and false light indicate this. Its chief purpose is to warn us of dangerous emotional influences from within ourselves as well as outside. It has a positive side, however, and we find reference to it in the Bible when we read of dreams, visions, and personal visitations from the angel of the Lord that appeared to the prophets and seers, such as Isaiah, Jeremiah, Daniel, John on Patmos Isle, etc. They have modern successors, such as Nostradamus, Tennyson, Antoine Johansen, Homer Lee. These men, and many others, without doubt contacted a high order of supernormal intelligent beings that gave advance warning and showed them clearly the shape of things to come. Few, however, paid heed to the voice of a prophet. He is truly a voice crying in the wilderness of man's fogged-bound, self-centered thoughts and emotions, pictured by Arcanum 18. Aphorism. Remember then, son of earth, that whoever braves the unknown, unsustained by the spirit of light, does so at his peril. Hostile minds, figured by the black dog, will snarl at him and surround him with ambushes. Friendly, but servile minds, figured by the white dog, will seduce him with flatteries. And treacherous minds, figured by the scorpion, will plan to attain their ends through his ruin. Observe and listen, but remain stoically silent about your psychic experiences. Above all things, beware of self-deception, which creates the fog of illusion. Keyword and correspondences. Arcanum 18. Reference page 204 in the Royal Road.